All right. Well, we're LB Media, as you know from my 60 seconds, and we're a web design agency. We're based in Stockport, just near Manchester. We've been doing this for probably about just 10 years, maybe 10 years, a little bit more. So quite a while. I've been a developer for 44 now, so well over 20 years. My business partner is my brother. He's a web designer. His background is all arty stuff. I'll show you some of his drawings. It's really good. So we get the best of both worlds on each project. So we get expertise in the development of the project. So I've got a lot of programming skills in various different languages, and Paul, my business partner, has graphic design skill set as well. So this is family. So I've got a busload of kids. I can run a competition actually where you can take home 2 boys, twins, which are quite feral at the moment. So it's kind of buy one get one free. But now I'm only messing. They're beautiful kids. So you've got Clark. He's 6 now. You want to pull in a face in the top picture there in the middle, and then you've got the twin boys below Clark. That's Kobe and Cassie. They're 3, so they're a bit older there now. And Kobe's in the corner. You can't see his face. He's licking beans from a plate. And you've got Kaya as well, who's in the picture at the bottom. She's my stepdaughter. She's 12. She's fantastic. She helps us quite a lot with the kids. She won't change a nappy though, but kind of working on it. But yeah, no, she's brilliant. This is I need to change this actually because he's done a lot more than this really. But these are some of his paintings, some of his drawings that he's done. So just give you an idea of the skill set really, and what we're capable of in terms of how the site looks visually. I think it's quite important. Sometimes you'll get agencies that are good at the development side but lack on the graphic design, or the other way around. But we excel in both, is my opinion. Some couple of paintings as well that Paul's done, quite dark. Right, so e-commerce, the 3 main areas that we focus on. We do SEO, search engine optimization, but that's probably another 10-minute presentation really in itself. So the areas that we focus on is e-commerce. E-commerce is fantastic for us because they provide longevity. Each e-commerce website, when we maintain it, we manage the hosting. Depending on how big the site is as well, the hosting can get quite complex because I've obviously got to think about regular backups and all that kind of stuff, and malware, and bandwidth as well, because if it's getting a lot of traffic, then it potentially slow the site down. So there's a lot of things to think about in terms of the scope. And standard websites, manufacturing businesses is probably an ideal client for us. Certainly a business over 30 staff. We changed the way we worked about 2 years ago, so we focus on more bigger businesses than the smaller ones. Not that we do cater for small businesses as well. When I say small businesses, probably more micro businesses like one-man trades and all that kind of stuff. We're still willing to speak to them, but our ideal client is ideally 30 staff plus. And we also do the maintenance as well, and that's purely the reason why we focus on bigger businesses, purely for the maintenance side as well. So they more often than not they want ongoing maintenance, whereas updating blogs and all that kind of stuff, or updating the site with upgrades, version upgrades, all that kind of stuff. So I'll just talk you through some of the sites that we're recently working on or recently completed. So this is this is Adlington Law. Now their current site, they paid £13,000 for it. And the current one is still live. We're just in the process of building this one, so it's probably take about another 3 or 4 weeks to finish. And they're already extremely happy with the design. Now the existing one, it was built on a charge of £13,000. It's also built on a theme as well, which is bit naughty. So they've purchased probably a $60–80 theme from a third-party source like Theme Forest or something like that to cut corners, so it speeds things up for them. Now, if you're charging something like £500 or £600 or maybe £1,000 for a website, fair enough. But if you're being charged £30,000, it's just ridiculous. We don't use themes as a business purely because of their longevity. They're not ideal because they can cause problems long term. You're kind of outsourcing the work essentially to someone else you don't know when you're purchasing a theme online. And you've got to make sure they work alongside upgrades as well. So when you're upgrading, so we use Magento, WordPress, and Shopify. But if you're upgrading WordPress, for example, the theme or the extensions may not work alongside each other. So it's important that you build it from scratch, really, to avoid any issues going forward. So there's another one contact left, which is this is quite a big site. We've redone this one recently. These have got about 30,000 products that generate a lot of orders per day. It's also synced to eBay and Amazon. So all the stock controls in sync. So if someone orders on eBay, then the stock is taken off the website as well, and obviously they get orders as well over the phone. So it's just making sure the stock controls in sync, which is quite key and quite important. Yeah, we've been maintaining that one. Been maintaining it for quite a few years now, so it's quite a good project for us. That's built on Magento, which is owned by Adobe. So any customers or anything you hear with that turn around and say they're on a WordPress site or a Magento or Shopify, then I'm definitely willing to speak to them if they need any improvements. Next one is Aurora Production Music. The reason I put this one, this is a recent one as well. I put a music player on this one, so it's not embedded from YouTube or anything like that. It's got its own music player on it. So this is probably, I think it's probably about 250 gigs worth of data now because of the amount of music that's on there. So we can cater for big sites like that require a lot of storage. And then you've got to think about, obviously, if that's getting backed up per day, you could be talking about terabytes worth of data. This is an architect company that we've been working on as well. It's quite a nice one, local business. Another architect business as well that we're working on. And it's quite nice with a couple of certainly these two sites, because they've invested in a photographer to do all the photos, which makes us look good as well. Makes the site a lot more presentable. It's like Katie as well when they opt for copy. So if you get the right people involved on one project, so a copywriter, a photographer, a videographer, all those type of people involved, and it makes the project a lot better, a lot smoother. I like this chap as well. So Show Motion Media. This chap does photography and videography as well. So we pass quite a bit of work to him, and he passes work to us as well. So there's a bit of synergy there. So if you know of anyone that does photography or anything like that, then definitely would like it one-to-one. PSD Lettings Limited. This is a letting agency that we've just taken on as well. So we're going to be syncing that to Rightmove to make things a little bit easier. So basically, when they put it on Rightmove, then the property ends up on the website. Because that's the other thing as well. It's quite key that we do is making sure that things are synced as well to save time, administration time. So we've got a couple of sites. One of which is WoolyKnit, is synced to their Xero accountancy package. So every time an invoice comes through, it gets transferred over. Bicale, we're just doing a lot of SEO on this one. These do bed linen manufacturing company. They've got two sides to their business, so we're maintaining two sites at the moment. But we're doing all the search engine optimization, so the organic side and the Google AdWords. So that's another ideal client for us. The other thing is that we do is for each site we try and get the performance on Google Insights very high. So you can see that this one's got a performance of 100, accessibility is 97, best practice is 100, and then SEO is 100 as well. So when we're building the site, we're quite mindful of the accessibility and best practices that Google abides by. And we've got, that's an old screenshot, but we've got plenty more positive reviews as well. So these are all genuine positive reviews from clients that we've dealt with over the past 10 years. So yeah, we've got some really good, solid, good feedback from our clients, which we're extremely proud of. And I need to change this slightly as well, actually, but IT companies is probably the one that provides us plenty of recurring revenue, I guess. They pass us quite a lot of work. Copywriters, schools and marketing agencies, please. Thank you.
Cool.
Any questions?
Thank you, Iain. Well, I expect Andy's got a question of, are you using Trustis to get your reviews on your site?
Yeah, we definitely, well, even yourself, Andy. I'd love a one-to-one with yourself. I think.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
definitely, definitely worth a one-to-one, 100%.
I think for me, Iain, it's quite interesting to see you've got some different types of businesses coming through. I think from last time, so kind of the lawyers and architects and things like that for you. I know manufacturing's a big area where you like to focus. Is there a sort of a second option there that you're particularly enjoying at the moment?
I'd definitely like more law firms through the door. Definitely. Okay. But it's hard. I mean, our client base is about 150, and it varies. But I think I think manufacturing businesses probably provide us quite a chunk of that recurring revenue. Yeah. And law firms have been quite good for us as well. So, an architect company as well. There's probably 3 areas that I'd like to focus on, really.
Okay. Other questions? Anyone else? Matt, you have a question?
Iain, is there any big no-nos on websites these days, things you shouldn't do anymore?
Themes.
Okay, so themes in general.
I think so, yeah. Not necessarily all of them. I don't. You see, that's the thing with maintenance. You see, I'll at least get one site through the door, and they don't necessarily take our services, but and I usually get it through an IT company. So an IT company will be hosting a load of sites, a load of WordPress sites, and they can't fix certain development issues. It's not their skill set, but they know how to host a website. So they'll pass it over to us. I'll log in. And more often than not, the reason why there's issues with it is purely because of the theme. There was one actually last week, which was they were selling their fishing gear. And it was purely because the theme was, they probably spent about, I mean, it's crazy. They could spend $3,000 with a company. And then the company goes away and spends $30 on a theme. Crazy. And to me,
your average person wouldn't know that, would they? The consumer wouldn't.
No. Well, I suppose if you look, they could. Yeah, no. This is the problem, isn't it? So we're not massively, we're not cheap. We're not massively expensive either. I think we provide the right service. And yeah. We don't cut corners. But it's like with the fishing tackle one. I think they spent about £2,000 on it. I think the theme was $30. But for me, it's like a plumber. You see, they don't when they install a theme to cut corners, you'll find out that the reason why they cut corners is because they've got no development skills, they've got no programming skills. And to me, it's like a plumber installing a combi boiler, but unable to maintain it afterwards. What's the point?
Yeah, interesting.
Anyway, that was.
It can make a big difference, I think, as well. Like if certainly from getting the best from your website, I think if you're working to a theme, you sort of need to know that from the outset, because I've certainly had clients where they've gone, oh, I want to do this. And then actually, as you go through that process of writing the copy, what you find is that the web designer, like you say, is working to a theme. And it's like, well, that's clearly not going to work then.
Yeah,
because
so
there are also
you're restricted.
limitations on what you can do if you're working to a thing.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're kind of restricted, really. And don't, like I said, I'm not like slagging anyone off that uses them, because it's all about what you spend, isn't it? My point is, if you're spending thousands of pounds on a website, and then the person's going off and getting a cheap theme, then it's wrong, really. But if you're being charged £500, or if the client only wants to pay £500, then obviously you've got to cut corners to a certain extent, because you're not going to make any profit. But the point of the £13,000 that was spent Adlington Law spent, well, yeah, it's definitely a no-no. Anyway, that was quite a long answer to a question.
Any other questions before we move on? Oh, Emma's got one, so we'll make that the final question, then we're gonna move into one-to-ones.
Very quick one. Obviously, with people that we know and websites that need refreshing and conversations that we have about people is fine. What about the big ones? Is there any way that we can get into big companies? Because I'll tell you, one that frustrates me more than ever is View. Trying to book tickets for View, their website is absolutely shockingly bad.
Right,
Like, is there like, would there be a
I've not been on that, is
service
it?
one or something like that we can say, listen, like, I'm a front end consumer, your website is a deterrent, sort it out. In it, Stacey, it's bullshit. I can't be dealing with it.
So with the tickets, what's the website called?
View, VUE.
Oh, the cinema one. I've not been on that one.
Oh, it's slow and it lags, and then you try and book tickets, and then if you pick the wrong seats and you want to come back out again, it then holds your ticket so you can't book new seats, and then it is a mess. It's a hot mess.
Yeah. I mean, that particular one's probably beyond our capabilities, purely because we haven't got the resource for it. But I suppose the answer to your question, if you come across, I mean, that's why I target manufacturing business, because when you look at a manufacturing business, a lot of them, probably 5 out of 10, they don't look great. They're very old fashioned, very 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the thing to look out for us, and also if it's mobile friendly. Or if it's got an SSL cert is a big one as well, where it's got a lock in the top left-hand corner. To see whether if it says not secure, definitely want to speak to them.
Okay.
Because they're not having any type of maintenance. But an ideal client, I mean, I can imagine they're quite big, but an ideal client for us, like I said, is probably 30, 40 staff, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a bit more.
Perfect. I'll look out for the tick. Thank you.
I think I also saw, and this is maybe a comment for anyone else who's got a website recently, that there is an update around Google ranking and stuff that is going to come in around if your site basically can't operate on a mobile. So if you've got a website only and you can't get it to actually work on a mobile, then it's going to start affecting rankings and stuff soon, because they're looking at mobile responsiveness. So if you know anyone who's got if it's really clunky, it still will. But obviously, people who are looking to make those kind of changes, where they're going, well, it works great on a laptop, but where they're struggling with mobile, I should imagine that's something else that is something you could help with, Iain.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose it's spending. I mean, I know you've all got day jobs and you're busy and stuff. I suppose it's just spending a couple of minutes on it when you come across the website. Spending a couple of minutes on it, checking whether it looks great on a phone and stuff like that. Now, there was the other thing as well. It's kind of popped straight out of my head. It was something. Oh, what was it? I can't remember.
When it comes back, stick it in the chat.
I will do. Yeah.
Let's do that. Thank you very much, Iain.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. He's
remembered. Carbon footprint. That's a new thing as well that we're looking into. Because obviously servers as well, they take up a huge amount of resource, electricity, all that kind of stuff. So that's something we're looking into. So I mean, it all goes down to the number of images you use per site and the quality of the images, the size of the images, and all that kind of stuff. So we're looking into things like that, which is going to be massive in the next 5 or 10 years. It's going to be quite a big requirement for each site to have a high level of carbon footprint, or a decent score anyway.